Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Yogalibrium. My name is Heather, and today's class is going to be a full-length, deep stretch yin yoga class to prepare you for your front, right, and left split. So, a couple things I wanted to say before we get into the class. Poses in this class are going to be held for 2 to 3 minutes each. We're also going to be doing some pretty intense poses. So remember that you need to modify the poses to match where you are right now. Even though splits is a fun goal to work toward, nothing magical is going to happen when you finally get all the way down. So keep tuning in to your body, how you feel in any given moment, and make sure that you're taking care to modify to where you are in this moment. So if you're about ready to work your way towards a deeper split, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so as an option for today's class, you might want to have 2 blocks handy or a couple of books. Go ahead and take one on either side of your mat and make your way up to standing. Bring your hands in front of your heart. A couple deep breaths here. Tapping into that internal awareness of how your body and how your mind are feeling in this moment. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up, and as you exhale, we're going to start by stepping our right foot back and setting up our pyramid pose. So if you're using blocks or props here, take them onto either side of your left foot. Really want you to think about plugging that left hip back in as the right hip spins forward. Can help here. Activate your quad, press into the ball of the left foot so you get some energy there, and then just keep feeling like you're leading your heart forward. If you feel like you don't need the blocks, you can set them off to the side. If you don't have blocks, just use your hands on top of your leg, but keep the integrity in your knee, and as you feel ready, starting to fold as far forward as you can. Remembering that because we're holding these poses a little bit longer, you're not looking necessarily right away to find the deepest variation that you can. Just go to where you're meeting your edge, the edge of your flexibility right now. And then as you stay in this hold, and as time passes and you become more still and relaxed, you will start to go deeper and deeper. Okay, my friends, take a deep breath in and exhale. Let that go. We're going to transition this into a 3-legged downward facing dog. So you can shimmy the back foot back and lift up on the heel, come onto the ball of your right foot. So you might need to bend into your left knee here. We're going to plant the palms down and sweep the left leg all the way back and up. And then drawing that left knee back into your chest as you hover into plank and release the foot down into your lunge. We're going to take the arms to the inside of the leg and wiggle that left foot over, coming into our dragon pose. So there are a couple ways that you can take this pose. I want you to take the variation where the left knee is drawing in towards the shoulder rather than winging out to the side, because this is going to be more effective and similar to when we come into our split. So you can stay up on top of your hands if that's already enough. You can lower down to your props. Maybe you'll lower all the way down to the floor. It doesn't matter. Remember, the pose is serving you, not the other way around. So just finding where you're meeting that edge, and then let time and stillness take care of the rest. Your only goal here is to become more and more present and aware. Good. Tapping into that intuition, that you know exactly where you need to be. Last deep breath where you are. And slowly starting to lift yourself up out of this posture. Nice job. Wiggle the foot back in towards the midline. I want you to grab one of your blocks and bring it over by your left hip. And then bring your hands up on top of the left thigh or onto your low back, whatever feels comfortable, allowing the pelvis to drop down. We're going to deepen the stretch through our right hip flexor by grabbing the block with our left hand, reaching the right arm up and over. And if you don't need that block, you can go ahead and release the hand to the floor. We're not staying here too long, just take some deep breaths and then just let it go. Plant your hands back down, tuck your back right toes, and we're going to slowly crawl the right knee up the mat. We're going to go ahead and sit our sit bones down to the inside of our right leg. So you have the top of the shin and the top of the foot on the floor. You're not sitting on your heel, your hip is off to the side. It might be comfortable for some of you to grab a blanket and put it underneath the left sit bone. Give yourself more evenness in the hips here. But if this is okay for you, we have some options. We're going to start to lean back onto the hands. And maybe this is enough. If it is, stay right here. If you have a little bit more space, go ahead and lower down to your elbows. And if you feel like that's still okay, you might have room to lower all the way down to your back or to a prop like a pillow or a bolster if you have one. Option for the arms to reach them above your head. Feeling this stretch through the front of that right hip and through your quadricep, into that right knee, all the way down to the foot and the right toes. And the last option for variation here might be to fold the left knee in so it's reaching towards the sky and plant the left foot down. So this is a pretty intense pose. And remembering to set something up that works for you and for your body. You are your greatest teacher. Don't be fooled into thinking that anybody knows your body better than you do. And if you find that your thoughts are getting to you, that you need to release or come up out of the posture, see if you can relieve those thoughts with a bit of a deeper breath. And then that inner guidance will tell you if you really need to release out of the pose, or if you just maybe need to make an adjustment or two. Or maybe it's possible to be still here and just breathe through whatever intensity you're feeling. Beautiful job. We're going to slowly start to release this pose mindfully and carefully. Extending that left leg straight if it wasn't already. And then slowly starting to lift yourself back up onto your elbows, onto your hands, and all the way back up on top of your sit bones. From here, we're gonna open the right knee out to the side so that we're making this 90-degree angle with our legs. This might be uncomfortable for some of you. We still have the top of the shin and the top of the foot on the floor. So if that's not comfortable for you, swing that right leg around and instead take the foot to your inner thigh towards your pubic bone, but keep that same angle. So whichever version you're gonna set up for this one, I want you to turn your torso center between your legs and then slowly on an exhale, bring yourself forward as much as you can. And this is another pretty intense posture. So be gentle with yourself. And breathe deeply into that right hip and wherever else you're feeling it. The deeper you make your breath, the calmer you can make your nervous system, and the more you'll be able to surrender to this moment in time. Inhale and exhale. Let's come up out of this pose. Amazing job. Keeping your legs exactly where they are. Reach that right arm around beside you and then take it up and over. We're going to take a few deep breaths in a side bend here. You can drop your elbow to the floor, reach that right hand around to the foot if it's available. If it's not available, it doesn't matter. Breathe into your right side body wherever you find yourself. And then coming back up through center, we're going to turn the torso over the left leg. Float the arms up, inhale, and exhale, folding over your left leg. And this is your next hold. And taking your time to set yourself up, meet your edge, find stillness, and surrender. right, last couple breaths here. And then slowly start to make your way back up. Amazing. Gently release that right leg out and around in front of you. This is going to feel really nice. Let it extend. Take your time and give your legs a shake out from side to side. And then let's go ahead and lie down on our backs. You can take any movement here that feels right for you. Maybe hugging knees into your chest, windshield wipering from side to side, whatever it is. And then we're gonna start to slowly rock ourselves forward and back all the way up to a seated position. And we gotta take that on the second side. So making your way up to standing at the top of your mat. Take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up. Exhale, find your forward fold. And grabbing those blocks if you're using them. We're gonna start by stepping our left foot back this time so that the right leg is forward. We're coming into our pyramid pose. And remember, we're starting by drawing that right hip back in space. And I want you to press into the ball of the right foot. So you're activating a little bit through that right thigh. Using your blocks on either side of your right foot. Let your heart come forward as you pull the hips back in space. And if it's okay for you to lower down without props, you can do so. Feeling that your heart is melting over top of your right leg. You can relax your head down if that's comfortable. Releasing any tension through your neck. All right, so we're gonna turn this into our three-legged down dog. So maybe you can send that left foot back in space, pop the heel. Maybe you're bending into that right knee, get ready, and sweep the right foot all the way back and up. And then on the next inhale, draw the knee back into your chest and step forward for your lunge. Drop your left knee down and go ahead and wiggle that right foot out to the side and bring your right arm to the inside of the right foot, preparing for dragon. So remember, I want you guys to think about drawing the right knee in towards the shoulder for this one. If you're using a prop, you can lower down onto the prop. Maybe you're up on your hands. Maybe you're coming down to the floor. And if you find this pose intense, remember you're supposed to find it intense. It is for most people. Your only goal is to become as present and aware as you can be in this moment. Allowing yourself this time to work your way through the discomfort so that you can deepen your range of motion. And there's only one way to do that, and that's by being present here and now. Taking the time to be in a challenging pose when it's really a lot easier just to avoid doing it all. And just the fact that you're here is amazing, so keep breathing. Take your last deep breath in for your dragon pose. And exhale, release. We're going to slowly make our way back up on top of our hands. And back into that lunge. Wiggle the right foot back in towards the midline. And take the right arm to the outside of the leg. Grab one of your blocks and set it beside your right hip. So we're going to come up on top of our hips. You can use your hands on top of that right thigh for support. Think about sinking the hips down towards the floor. And if you want to deepen the stretch through that left hip flexor, use the block, lean into it with your right hand and reach the left arm up and over. Beautiful. And let's move on. Plant the hands down, tuck your back leg. Start to wiggle that left knee forward on your mat. And we're gonna let the sit bones come down, preparing for our next pose, half saddle. So remember, I want you to have your left shin and the top of the foot pressing into your mat. That left hip is drawing down and back, but you're not sitting on the heel. Use the folded blanket underneath the right hip if you need. This might already be enough. If you've got a little bit more space, walk the hands back, breathing into the left hip flexor and quadricep. If you've got even more room, maybe lower down onto your elbows. Good. Breathing here. Maybe lowering all the way down to the floor. You can bring your hands up over top of your head if that's comfortable. And a last variation, maybe you fold the right knee in and plant the foot down. Send the right knee up to the sky. Every breath is an opportunity to be present and to relax. let this one go. Take your time. Coming all the way back up. Nice job. I know that one is really intense. Go ahead and open the left knee now, out to the side. Finding that 90-degree angle of your legs. If it's not comfortable, you're gonna fold the left leg around in front so that the foot is coming in towards your pubic bone. You're gonna take this variation instead. So setting up whatever feels best for you. Square yourself to the center of your legs. And in your time, you start to fold forward. And sending that breath wherever you feel it. Beautiful job, you're doing amazing. Keep staying in it. Last breath here. And slowly start to make your way all the way back up. Amazing. Swing the left arm around behind you and take it up and over as you come into your side stretch. Breathe into that left rib cage. Just a couple breaths here. And then coming all the way back up. And we're going to turn the torso to face the right leg this time. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, starting to lean forward. And if you can, keep flexing that right foot. Keep imagining that your heart is lifting up and forward over your leg. Each breath you take, you're finding more space throughout your body, behind your right leg. All right, one last deep breath in and out, making your way all the way back up, and then gently releasing the left leg all the way around in front of you. It's gonna feel really nice to let that go. Shake out the legs from side to side. And then again, finding any movement here that you feel like your body needs. Lying down on your back, extending the legs up, windshield wiper your knees from side to side, or you can hug your knees into your chest as I'm doing here. And then let's go ahead and roll ourselves back up to a seated position. Beautiful, let's move on. Grab your blocks, make sure you've got one block on either side of your mat. Cross over your ankles, plant your hands down, and let's press into downward facing dog. So this is what we've been working for. We're gonna move into our split. Go ahead and start by floating the left leg up to the sky. Draw the knee into your chest and plant the foot down. Let's find a low lunge, drop the right knee to the floor. Really sink the hips and open the heart up. And on an exhale, start to take it back into half split to start. Pull the left hip back in space. Inhale, bend the left knee, lift through the chest. Exhale, take it back, half split. And one more time to inhale and bend that front knee. And exhale, setting up your blocks here. This is gonna be our longer hold. So if you're in your half split and you feel like this is as far as you can go, then just breathe right here. This is where you start. If you've got a little bit more room, you might be able to lower your elbows down towards the blocks, over that left leg. If you want to start to take it a little bit deeper, using your blocks for support if you need them, press into your hands, tuck the back right toes, and gently start to extend into your version of a full split. And the orientation of your hips here is really important. We don't want to be opening the right hip out to the side. We want to be driving that right hip forward and the left hip back, squaring the hips as much as possible. Remember, nothing magical is going to happen when you find yourself in a full split. So wherever you are, breathe deeply and surrender to the process. It's when we feel things getting the most intense that we need to take the deepest breaths. All right, take your last inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Press into your hands and slowly start to crawl the back leg forward, pulling the left heel back. We're gonna slide the left leg back into child's pose. So keep your knees together for this one and go ahead and sink your hips over your heels. Taking a moment here just to let what you did settle in your body. And then slowly lifting yourself up. Let's crawl the hands forward. We need to take the second side, so tuck the toes and send the hips high. Find downward facing dog. And float that right leg up towards the sky. And then draw it in. Bring yourself forward into your lunge. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, and allow the hips to sink down as you lift through the chest. Exhale. Take it back into your half split. Pull the right hip back. Bending back into the front leg. Exhaling back into half split. One more time. Inhale, coming forward. And then here we go. Sending the right hip back and the left hip forward, using your props as you need to. Thinking that the heart is coming forward. Finding space behind that right leg. Maybe you'll lower elbows down to the blocks. And staying right here is just fine. If you want to start to go deeper, tuck the back toes and slowly start to extend into your version of a full split. Keeping the hips as square as you can. This side always feels different than the other side. No need to set them up in the same way. And when you arrive in your version of this pose, take the deepest breath in that you can. And then exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Surrender to the pose. And wherever you are, you're doing an amazing job. These are some deep stretches that we're moving through. Deepening your range of motion and also deepening your ability to get comfortable being uncomfortable, which is necessary to grow. One more deep breath here, and then let's release. Take your time, press into the hands, and slowly release the right leg back to meet the left. And let's come back into child's pose with the knees together. Relaxing hips towards heels, relaxing your forehead towards the floor. Letting that settle in your body. Nice and slow, let's release the hands forward, crawl them up the mat. And then just allow the hips to sink towards the floor as you open up your heart for a little upward dog. And then we're going to crawl the knees forward, cross over the ankles, sit down, and make our way into our Shavasana. It's really important to take the time for this final pose so you can let all the benefit of your practice settle into your body. Allowing yourself to become as still as possible. Allowing your mind to become as still as possible. Sinking into your mat. Now gently, let's begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Roll wrists and ankles, float the arms overhead, and draw the legs together for a last long stretch. Rolling over onto one side and pausing for a moment. And then making your way up to a comfortable seated position. We'll draw the hands together in front of our heart, bow our chin to our chest. And to finish our class, let's go ahead and rub the palms together, generate some heat between the hands, and then place your hands over top of your closed eyes and take a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. And that's our class. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments how you got on with this practice. And I would be so grateful if you would give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you liked this class for more flows just like it. And I'll see you next time on the mat. Namaste.